Hi, my name's Sean Taylor and welcome to Volume 2 of No Fail Kids Show Magic. On this volume you're going to see me performing for older kids. Kids need to be treated in a little bit different way if they are older. In the first volume we looked at kids that are 5 or 6 years of age. The kids in this particular show are 9 or 10. So they're a little bit more sophisticated. They need to see something that's perhaps a little bit more magical. They needed to be treated in a slightly different way, with a little bit more respect. So, different style of tricks, different style of performance. Relax and enjoy the show, and then we'll come back and talk about it afterwards. My word. What a fabulous welcome. Good afternoon, folks.
Good afternoon, Sean.
Oh my goodness me, fantastic. That was great. Now, I want to show you some magic this afternoon, but you know, I knew that some of the people that were going to be here today would have seen me before, so I decided it would be a good idea to go and see a friend of mine because he thinks up tricks for magicians. In fact, these people are called thinker-uppers. It's true, and I went to see this friend of mine. He's a very good thinker-upper, and I said, look, I'm going to see some people on Saturday, and some of them have seen me before. I'd like to show them something new. He said, well, as a matter of fact, you've come on just the right day. I've got a brand new trick. So he went out to the back room, and he came back carrying this. He said, this is a little trick where you have 3 ends of rope, put that in like that, 3 ends of rope, put that in like that, and 3 middles in the middle. I said, wait a minute, isn't that a trick with 3 pieces of rope? He said, yes. I said, that's no good. I already do a trick with 3 pieces of rope. He said, well, I tell you what, if you don't like that one, I've got another one where you have 2 ends of rope, put that in like that, 2 ends of rope, put that in like that, and 2 middles in the middle. I said, wait a minute, is that a trick with 2 pieces of rope? He said, yes. I said, that's no good. I already do a trick with 2 pieces of rope. He said, well, I tell you what, if you don't like that one, I've got another one. You have 2 ends, 1 end of rope, and I started to get confused. I said, hang on, isn't that a trick with 1 piece of rope? He said, yes. I said, that's no good. I already do a trick with 1 piece of rope. He said, well, I tell you what, if you don't like that one, I've got another one. You see, you have 2 ends of rope, put that in like that. You have 2 ends of rope, put that in like that, and still 1 middle in the middle. I said, that's a bit confusing. Have you got anything else? He said, as a matter of fact, I have. I've got a trick where you have 3 ends of rope, put that in like that, 3 ends of rope, put that in like that, and still 1 middle in the middle. I said, that's much too confusing, so I didn't buy it. Now, I said, have you got anything else? He said, as a matter of fact, I have. I've got something which just arrived today in a box of magic from China. It's called a Chinese What's-It. I said, well, what does it do? He said, I don't really know, but I'll tell you what, take it home, and if you like it, keep it. If not, bring it back. So I took it home, and as you can see, it's a little orange stick. Now, connected to this orange stick, there are 2 pieces of string. There's a long piece of string at this side and a short piece of string over at that side. And connected on the strings, there are 4 pom-poms. There's a blue pom-pom here, a yellow pom-pom there, a white pom-pom there, and a red pom-pom there. And I've found out that when you pull the red pom-pom becomes the low pom-pom, and the blue pom-pom becomes the high pom-pom. When you pull the blue pom-pom becomes the low pom-pom, and the red pom-pom becomes the high pom-pom. And as I said, there's a piece of string, a long piece of string over here and a short piece of string over there. And I've managed to figure out how it works. I'm going to explain it to you. It's very simple. You see, what happens is this. The white pom-pom is connected to the blue pom-pom, which is connected to the red pom-pom, and the yellow pom-pom is connected to the red pom-pom, which is connected to the blue pom-pom. Now, just in case you missed that, I'll do it again. You see, what happens is this. The white pom-pom is connected to the blue pom-pom, which is connected to the red pom-pom, and the red pom-pom is connected to the yellow pom-pom, which is connected to the blue pom-pom. Now, as I said, there's a long piece of string over here and a short piece of string over there. You might have noticed a minute or 2 ago there was a long piece of string over here and a short piece of string over there. But I like to keep a short piece of string over, or a long piece of string over here and a short piece of string over there. It's a bit more easy to get hold of it that way. Now, no one has ever seen a long piece of string over here and over there. Well, until today, of course. Now, if you're wondering how this works, aha, you might be saying, perhaps there's a piece of string going across the middle. Or a little man inside running up and down. Well, in actual fact, if I take it apart, you'll see there's no one at home. So what I want to know is, what is this for? Where did it come from? And what can I do with it? I think this is a funny little puzzle which has been sent over from China to send us all completely up the pole. That's a Chinese What's-It. Thank you very much. Right. Now, before we go any further, let me see. Is there anyone here today who would like to learn how to do a trick? So many people, that's what I thought. Hands down, hands down. I am going to teach one lucky person how to do a trick, and I think... Wait a minute. The birthday girl, I think, should be the person for this. You don't have any pockets on you, do you? But that's okay. Come up here. Give her a round of applause for coming out. Come and stand over here for me, around this way, a little bit closer under the big bag of sand. Good. Now, this is Lily. Lily's going to learn how to do a trick today. Now, this is a great trick. This is one of my favourites. And it uses some little snippets of paper. You don't have any pockets, do you? All right, we'll just tuck this one under there for now. Right, good. Okay, and I've got one just like yours, and I'm going to tuck that piece into my pocket. And we need a big piece of paper each, just like this. There's one for you, here's one for me. Now this, everybody can learn this, and I'm going to explain it to everyone as they go along. This is a very, very famous trick. This is the world famous torn and restored paper trick. Everyone can learn this. So, you take a piece of paper like this, you hold it out in front of you so that everybody gets to see. Good. And then, Lily, all you need to do is to tear it in half so that you get two equal pieces beautifully like that. Off you go. Fantastic.
Rip it.
That's good. All right. Put those two pieces together. There we are. Tear again. Went a bit off. That's all right. Perfect. Okay. Right. Those two pieces together. Tear again. So, perfect. So when you tear 4 pieces, how many do you get? 8. And if you tear 8 pieces, how many will you get? 16. And if you tear 16 pieces, how many will you? 30. And if you tear 32, 64. Good. I saw someone getting out their laptop there. Okay, good. Right. Okay. Have you got it all? All right, good. All right. Now, here's all we need to do at this point. We're going to screw it up into a little ball like this. Screw all those pieces up into a little tiny ball like this. Nice little tight ball like that. Good. Okay. That's it. Now, once you get them... It's falling on the floor. Once you get them torn up into a little tiny ball like that, then here's what you do. You reach into your pocket and you take out the other piece. You don't have a pocket? Yes, so good. Under your arm. Yes, perfect. Good. And that piece, you're just going to hide it in your hand like that. That's correct. Fantastic. Okay. Well, it sticks out a bit. All right, we'll fold it one more time. Good. There we are. Hold it in your hand. Good. This is called palming. Yep. You palm it in your hand like that. Now, you take all of those torn pieces, Lily, and you put them into your hand. Good. And now you blow like this. Perfect. And now you take out the folded piece and you open it up so that everyone can see that it's restored into one piece. And everybody will give you a nice big round of applause. Yeah, isn't that fantastic? Now, this is important. When you get to the end of the trick and everybody can see that you've made the pieces join back together, whatever you do, you mustn't show them the torn pieces. You can't do that. You have to keep these pieces hidden, because if they see the torn pieces, they will know straight away how you've done it. Of course, if you were really a magician, you wouldn't have to worry about that, because you would just take the torn pieces, blow on them, and of course you would be able to join the torn pieces back together into one single solid piece. You wouldn't have to worry about doing those things if you were a real magician. Now, of course, if you were a clown, you would do it in a slightly different way. Let me show you how a clown would do this trick. It's a completely different way. A clown would take the pieces, tear them up into a tiny ball, like this, and a clown would not join the pieces back together in his hand. Instead, because he was a clown, he would join the pieces back together in his mouth. Something like that. How about giving Lily a nice big round of applause? Now, Because you did such a good job, Lily, of helping right there, I've got a special little prize to give you at the end. But for now, what I'd like you to do is a special job for me. I'd like you to choose 2 of your friends to help me with the next bit of the show. Ah, terrific. All right, so everybody give Lily a big round of applause and she can go and sit back down for now. And we've got some new guys. Come over this side for me. If you can come over this side there, that's perfect. You stand right there. Good, okay. Now we need to know who these people are. What is your name, please?
Rebecca.
Rebecca, that's fantastic. That's my middle name. And your name?
Hayley.
Hayley, Rebecca and Hayley. Hayley, hands by sides like that. And she's laughing already. She's lost it already. Hands by just like, okay. Okay. Hayley and Rebecca. Now, this is a little bit of a test just before we start, just to make sure that you're playing and singing from the same song sheet. Have you seen one of these before?
No.
This is a magician's purse. Yes, it's a magician's purse. Look, it's completely invisible, but I'm going to show you what magicians keep inside their purses. They keep these. Red balls, enormous ones like that. Would you hold your hand out flat for me? That's perfect, just like that. Good. All right, would you hold your hand out for me as well? There's the other one like that. Yep. 2 giant red balls. Now, I'm going to show you a trick using these 2 red balls. In fact, I'm going to teach you how to make a ball like this completely disappear. So, Hayley, you're going to help me with this, and Rebecca, I'll be back with you in a second. Okay, Hayley, squeeze up nice and tight like this and turn over. Use 2 hands together, hold on nice and tight. Now, I'm going to show you how to make a ball disappear from your hand. It's very easy. All you need to do is to squeeze like this and blow. Hold your hand out flat like that. Perfect. Slowly open, the ball disappears like that. Open the other hand. Yeah, oh. You've got 2. What are you doing? Right. Okay, good. All right. Let me grab both of those. I'll get Rebecca to help. Stand still for a moment. Right. Hold on to both of these, Rebecca. Squeeze up tight. Put your other hand over the top. Now, I'm going to take out the little purse. I'll open it up and tip an extra one in. Did you feel anything there?
No.
She's not feeling very well. All right, don't worry. Put your hands together like this. Slowly, slowly open like that. Have you got 3? Oh, my goodness me, you have. That was a little fast. All right. Grab them up. Okay, hold your hands flat like that for me. That's perfect. Now, we're just going to make sure that everybody else is following along. This bit's like a little test, all right? Watch. Here's what happens. The first ball, that's this one, goes back into my pocket. The second ball, in my hand. Last ball, back in my pocket. We'll just go with the 1, all right? You don't look very sure, Rebecca. Open up your hands. We'll open up both hands. We'll start that bit again because everyone's getting a bit confused. Look, 3 balls on your hands. Big finish coming up. Hayley, hold out your hand for me one more time. 2 hands together. Perfect. Good. I'll take all 3 of these and I want you to squeeze all 3 up nice and tight. And this time we're going to try something a bit different. Hold them up a bit. That's great. Good. And just raise them a bit lower. Good. Perfect. Now, I'm going to reach in here behind your ear and take out 1 more ball. This one's invisible and coloured blue. And watch, I'll throw the blue one in. Did you feel that?
No.
Not feeling very well either. It's all that Red Bull you had with tea. All right, over my hands, very slowly open. Not only has the last ball turned visible, look, amazingly, Hayley, lift it up so everyone can see. It has changed colour to match the other 3. Okay, sometimes I do the jokes just for myself. Okay, right. All right, I think it's now time to do something a bit more complicated. Step back for me just a little bit, that's perfect. Back over this way just a little bit, that's perfect. Now, this is the special practice trick before we get on to the main game. And, of course, I think it's about time we did a card trick. Now, I'm sure that everyone is going to be able to help us with this because it's a very simple card trick where all you need to be able to do is to count. To count, in fact, up to 10. So we'll all join in this together, counting up to 10. Ready? 1, all together if we can. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 10 cards. Would you take those for me, please, and tuck them into your pocket? Perfect.
I can't see. Oh,
Got them in? Okay. Now, Rebecca gets to do something a little bit more easy because she's actually going to count the cards for herself. Rebecca, you're going to count the cards like this. 1, 2, and just keep counting for me there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Hold the cards between your hands like this. Clamp them nice and tight so no one can touch them. Hayley, what I want you to do, just take your finger and thumb into your pocket where the cards are, and not really, but just invisibly take out one card for me. Very good. I want you to throw the card so it spins around over everyone's head. Rebecca's going to reach up and catch it. Off you go.
Okay.
Very good. Reach up and... Very good. Good acting. All right. Put that card in there. Perfect. All right. And another one. Throw it out so everyone can see. All around over everyone's head. Reach up and grab it. It's done. That's number 2. One more. Off it goes. And perfect. Good. Hold on to it tight. All right. Now, I don't want to touch anything, just in case you think I'm doing anything sneaky. Take out your cards. Okay. Stuck. Nice and loudly count them into the hat for me, Hayley, one at a time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7 cards. Any more in there?
No.
Definitely not. Rebecca, you're on. Off you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
13. Very good. Give them a big round of applause. Very, very good. Don't run away. We haven't even started yet. We're just warming up. Come back quicker. All right. Those are just 2 little simple tests, just to see if they're ready for the main game. And this is it, the main game. Now, what I need for this is a very special magic bag. Okay, here we are. Now, who's seen one of these before?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a magician's magic bag. Now, the important thing with these bags is that they always start empty. Just check for me. Oh, sorry. Okay, empty like this, nothing inside. Now, to make this work, we're going to try... Hold on to the handle for me if you would. Other hand as well. Up nice and high like this. Good. We're going to try and make some nice big colourful hankies appear inside the bag so that everyone can see them. All right, so, very simple. All you need to do, Rebecca, is to wave the magic wand over the top of the bag, if you would. Over the top of there, okay? And go this way, all right? Some people try and go that way. You can't do that, all right? Don't mess about. Wave it over there for me. Yeah. Oh, right. It's gone like a funny pair of legs. Look at that. Don't worry, I'll soon get it fixed for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh. I must stop doing that. All right. Okay, in the middle, nice and tight like that. In the middle, nice and tight there. Hold on to it tight. That's perfect. Good. Over the top of there. All right. Don't worry, I've got a spare one. Yes, okay. It's a little stubby one. You have to be careful with these because when you, if you're not careful, they sort of stretch out like that. Okay, so be careful. Oh, sorry about this. I'll just get that. Sorry. It's annoying when that happens. Sorry. Ooh, right. I'm not saying that was your fault, but it could have been. All right. Oh, sorry. Hurts when that happens. Right. Okay. Okay, good. Right. Hold your fingers up like that. Good. Just so that nothing goes wrong. All right. Hold on to that. Perfect. Okay. Good. Hayley, hold up the bag. All right, good. Now, you're just going to wave the magic wand like this, okay? And then very loudly you have to say the magic words, which just go wing, wing, all right? Just like that, all right? Okay. All right, you hold the bag. Say the magic words now. Off you go.
Ring, ring.
Excuse me. Hello? It might be for... it's for you. She can't talk right now. She's in the middle of a trick. All right, okay. Okay. Carrying on now. A lot of messing about going on. All right. Ah, look. Perfect, perfect. Inside... We're not going to get very far with that, are we? All right. Hold on to that for me for a second. Oh, dear. Look at that. we've got this huge bag, and all we've got are these silly little hankies. That's not going to work. They need to be bigger than that. All right. Pop them back inside. Okay, this time we'll use a bigger magic wand. That's what we'll do. Slightly bigger, a bit more solid. There we are. No messing about this time. Nice big solid magic wand. Okay, take this and wave it over the top of there for me. Okay, just hold on to that for me with 2 hands there because we're already in a mess. Hold this one in that hand there. That's perfect. Now, ha! Right. Put that one underneath that arm there. That's perfect. Hold that one there. Right, good. Now, no, it's going to be fine this time. Sorry about this. It's her, I'm sure of it. It's not my fault. I'm not doing anything. Right, just hold on to that, please. Now, put that one under there. That's perfect. Good. All right, hold that one there. Okay. Move a bit closer, Hayley. Good. Okay. Wave it over the top of there. Right. Okay, we're working now. I'm sure of it. Okay, now look. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Too many ones already. Okay, good. Now, perfect, perfect. Look. Hold on to that one there. That's great. There we go. Hold that one there. Perfect. That one there. That one there. Now, let me explain the basic idea of this trick. What we're going to try to do is to join these handkerchiefs together to make one big handkerchief all joined together. One giant one. Okay. Pop them inside there for me. That's terrific. Good. I think this time it can be your turn to hold on to the back. Hold that one for me with the handle nice and high. That's perfect. Now, right. Okay. She keeps laughing. I'm a bit worried. Right. Okay. Nothing silly. Look, see. Solid as a rock. No messing about this time. Now, when she waves the magic wand over there, what will happen this time? I mean, that was one of my... That was one of my best... It is. It's a bit of a Harry Potter moment. It's got a bit... all right. Don't worry. Okay. Yellow will go with your eyes. There we are. Good. Right. Over there. All right. Wave that over. That's perfect. Good. Now, if this works, all of those will... Hayley. Oh, you did! I saw you. You waved the wand. This doesn't look right to me. You've just tied them together, Hayley. That wasn't what I was asking you to do. I mean, look, they're just knotted together. That really wasn't the idea. Don't worry. We'll see if we can get this fixed. Now, you're actually going to look after this until the very end. So hold out your hands, and we'll hold this together in a nice big ball. That's perfect. Squeeze up tight, and I'll get rid of all of this. And it's your turn to wave the biggest magic wand we've got, which will be the red one. Good. Perfect. Come into the middle. Wave it over there. Okay, let's see. Already this is looking better. Good. Very slowly.
Hold on to it. Oh, good.
My goodness, that looks pretty good. How about that? Give them a big round of applause. Fantastic. Don't run away just yet. I'll tell you when.
Oh.
We're almost done. Now, this is it. The big finale. Because you made such a good job of helping out, you get some prizes to take away with you. Now... Okay, let's start with this. Now, just hold on to that for me. Just hold that for me at the end right there, because I need to just stretch it. Just hold it. Now, I'll do it. Ha! I hate that moment. Right, stand still right there for me, just there. That's it. Good, perfect. There we are. Oh, sorry. Now, there's... Looks like a banana with a tail. Look at that. That's because I haven't finished yet. That's what it is. Okay, here we go. Now, a little bit of a knot around here. Okay. Now, once this is done, suddenly it starts to look a bit like a big pair of lips. Or maybe a rabbit's ears. Nah. Perhaps a bunch of bananas. No. Bit of a twist. Oh, don't worry, I can repair it. I just need to... Yeah. There we are, perfect. Now, what? They're doubting me, these people. Okay, don't worry. All right, hold on to that for me just for a second. Not quite finished. Now, There we go. Right. It's a flower. But not just any flower. It's going to be a sunflower. Just like that. And that is for you. A big round of applause. There we go. Thank you. You can take a seat. Terrific. Now, Hayley, okay. I've got the perfect idea. Right, okay, watch carefully. Here we go. It's a blue one this time. Yeah, you're quite right. Now, this one looks a little bit like a flower to start with, but it's not actually going to be a flower. It's going to be something a little different. So far, it's looking a little bit like a face. Yeah, it's a teddy bear's face. A blue bear. Something like this. Now, he's not quite finished. We're going to give him a little swing. A bow tie. It'll be a big bow tie. Big bow tie for a very small bear. Okay, here we go. Around here. Perfect. A little bit of a curl and a bit of a twist turns this red balloon perfectly into a little red heart. Inside there goes the teddy bear. Just like that. One more finishing touch. Hold on to that for me for a second. Here we go. And perfectly. All right. A little flower. There we are. The bear in the heart with the flower. And that, my dear, is for you. A nice big round of applause. Good. Now, before we go, I think it's a good idea for me to make one for the birthday girl. What do you think? Yeah. I think so too. Lily, jump up for me for a second. A special job for you. Okay. Turn around this way. Good. Now, she's looking very feminine, but I happen to know that when things get tough, Lily could be the person to rely on. Hold out your karate chop like that. Do a bit of a hi-ya like that for me. Yeah. See? I told you. Lily's going to try to karate chop this balloon in half right there. Off you go. Yeah. Look at that. She's done it. Give her a round of applause, everybody. Now, once you get two halves like this, hold on to that for me for a second. Once you get two halves. Right, okay, don't worry. I brought a spare. Okay. In the middle, right here. Yeah. Again, look at that. Oh, no, I'm not falling for that again. All right. Excuse me for a moment. I'm just going to have a green tongue for a second. Here we go. There we are, completely repaired. Now, once you get the two little green pieces, that means that you can make one of these. Looks a bit like a spider at the moment. I'm not really quite sure where this is going, this spider. Let's try this. One of these and one of those. Now, let's make some little ears. It looks a bit like a palm tree to me, but it's not just any palm tree. It's a palm tree with a monkey climbing up. Just like that. And that is for you. There we are. Thank you so much. Folks, I'd like you to give a big round of applause to everybody who came out to help with the magic. A big round of applause to yourselves for being such a wonderful audience. A big round of applause for Lily's mum and dad for putting on a great party. And last of all, a big round of applause for me. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thanks a lot. So the warm-up items for this particular show are two reasonably well-known effects. This I know as the rope with six ends. It was invented by a friend of mine in England called Lenny Blees. And Len, some years ago, gave me permission to make this for a while, and I was making them and selling them in Australia just for a short time. And now the rights to this particular effect are owned by Mark Mason at JB Magic, and it's known as optical ropes. The manufacturer is a little bit different from this particular style. This is the old style, and Len made these ones probably over 20 years ago. And yeah, so now the modern style, the ropes are a little thicker, and the way that the effect works is ever so slightly different, but still you can find this. It's called optical ropes. Second effect, of course, is the old pom-pom stick or pom-pom prayer stick, first written up in Magic Circle Magic and made famous, of course, by Ali Bongo. I used this for many years as an adult effect, but it works just as well for kids. It's fun and colourful and fast and furious. It's magical as well, of course, but it's really the comedy that you get from doing it at 90 miles an hour that makes it amusing. So these are two good warm-up effects that'll work for kids or for adults. The rope with six ends and the pom-pom prayer stick. So I want to talk about now the magic lesson. The magic lesson is essentially a version of the sucker paper tear. It's a very old trick. You can find it in Greater Magic. It's been explained many times over the years, but not quite in this way. The reason I like this so much is because I love tricks that apparently give a little bit of a peek behind the curtain, a sort of mock explanation of how magic works. I like those kind of things because they put the audience at ease, and they make them feel relaxed because they make them feel like they're getting a little bit of a secret peep into your world. And of course the great thing about most of those effects is that they have a sucker or sock finish. I don't like to use the word sucker because I don't think this is a sucker trick in so many ways, but I think it's there's a great finish to this. It's very strong, and just when they think they know what's happening, the emotion starts to drop off a little bit, and then wham, you've got this great shot up at the end when you're really impressing them with a great piece of magic. So to do this you need a few simple things. A white mouth coil. This is one of the Cressy mouth coils. I've tried many other brands, but to be honest, the David Cressy ones are the best. So this is a white mouth coil, and you need some pieces of tissue paper, and there are five pieces in total, and the same size, more or less the same size. They don't have to be really super neat, but as close as you can. So first off, you're going to prepare a few of these. Fold up into a neat parcel, 2 pieces. Like that, into a neat little rectangle package. Third piece is prepared basically in the same way. Then when you get to the end, last off, you're going to take this and screw it into a ball. Now this is a good tip. If you try to screw up a piece right from one solid piece and screw it up into a little ball without folding it, it's extremely difficult to find the end and to get it to open neatly at the end. So it's much easier if you fold it up first until you get down to a small rectangle and then screw that up into a little ball. That sets you up perfectly. So 2 folded pieces, 1 balled piece, and then the last 2 are left as solid pieces. So those are just simply folded in half, and the whole setup goes inside the hat. So these 2 pieces are set on the side. The 2 folded pieces are together where I can get to them very easily. The piece I'm going to need to steal, a little balled piece, that's sitting in the middle of the hat, and then right down in the corner is the mouth coil. I'm going to grab that one right at the end. So now everything is set. Obviously you don't need to use a hat, you can use a little box or a bag, put it in your case, whatever you're going to use. But just everything where you can easily get to it. So for the beginning of the effect, I explained that I'm going to help them to set up. So I take out one folded piece of paper and I explain that this is the secret piece that no one will see. The person has a pocket, this is going to be tucked into their pocket. As you saw from the video, the girl who was helping me on that occasion didn't have a pocket, so we just tucked it under her arm. And then I gave her the other piece that she was going to tear up. So they're going to follow and mimic your actions exactly. You reach in to take out your pieces and you're going to steal the piece that's screwed up into a ball, and that just goes into a finger palm. Take out the actual piece that you're going to tear, and of course your folded piece, that will also be placed into your pocket. So it's there, and you're going to show them how to steal that out a little bit later on. So now you're in this position. They're aware of you holding a piece of paper and a folded one in your pocket, but they're not aware of this little piece which is held in a finger palm. So this is the position we're in. Now we're apparently going to teach the effect, so we get the spectator to follow us by tearing up a piece of paper. When you're tearing, try to get your hands to look identical. You don't want this hand open and flapping around whilst this one's closed up in a sort of almost arthritic position. You don't want that to be the case, because otherwise it's going to look very obviously different, so they're going to get a clue that something's going on. 3 or 4 tears are enough. You don't want little shreds of paper falling down onto the floor. Once this is done, you screw up these little pieces into a ball, and the spectator obviously is doing the same thing at this point. Once you've got them screwed into a ball, you're going to add the ball that you're holding. I turn the whole thing around so that the torn pieces are now on my right. Once I've screwed up into a ball, I like to hold in this way so that my fingers are open and it just appears like one ball between my fingers. In fact, this is 2 separate balls. These are the torn pieces, and this is the piece that they're unaware of that I'm going to use for the restoration in a moment. So I'm at this position. Now I explain that I'm going to take out the fold up piece from my pocket. I look at the spectator when I do this, and now my fingers come across and I steal the torn pieces away as my hand goes to my pocket. Whatever you do, don't allow your eyes to follow your hand down to your pocket, because that is in a sense the opposite of misdirection. You're directing the spectator's eyes to your hand, and they may see that you're holding something or you're in a rush to get to your pocket. So when you go to your pocket to take this piece out, don't let your eyes follow your hand. Take this out, the folded piece, hold it in a sort of fake palm position and have the spectator do the same thing. Yes, you hold yours in a fake palm, so they're copying your actions exactly. Now take what's apparently the torn pieces and place them into your hand. A little blow and open up. So now there's the restoration. Spectator does the same thing, and then you prompt the audience. You say, and when you do this, you'll get a great round of applause. And of course the audience will catch on to that and immediately applaud, which is great because the spectator's already a magician. They've just performed a trick without any practice whatsoever, and they're getting a great reaction for that. Now, you go into the second part of the explanation saying that they've got to keep this piece secret and they've got to keep it hidden. And now this is straight out of the sucker paper tear. You're going to open this piece. What you don't want to do is to go anywhere near your box or your hat or your pockets at this point. You don't want them to think that you're stealing an extra piece from somewhere else. The work's been done well before that, so you don't want to spoil it at this moment. So this just goes out of the way for now. A little blow on here. Now this is where I mentioned before how it's going to be much more easy to open. Once you get past the little piece that's been screwed into a ball, now it's basically folded, so it's easy to get a hold of the edges and open this piece up. Once it's open, this is a great position to be in. If you're a real magician, that's what you would do. This will be a second round of applause at this stage. Now you're ready to go into the third phase. You screw this piece up and drop it into your hat, and at the same time you're going to steal out the mouth coil from the hat, and that just basically goes in a finger palm. Again, same position right from the start. So now you're explaining, of course, if I were not a magician but a clown, I might do it a slightly different way. So now you're set up for the finale. This held in a finger palm. Go through the tearing in exactly the same way you did. 3 tears is enough. This piece is balled up and it goes in the little recess at the back of the mouth coil. The whole thing just goes straight into your mouth. Once you get to the end of the production, take this out of your mouth. Because this last part tends to be the wet bit, it's the outside of the mouth coil, sometimes I snap that little piece off. Strangely enough, I do like to give the mouth coils away. They look pretty good and it is a good handout or a good giveaway item. If productions are your thing, you've got a lot of cover now to use this for a production if you want an extra finish, but usually I find that this is enough. It's a great production, it finishes off the routine in a great way. On the first volume, you'll recall that I mentioned that it wasn't a good idea to put mouth coils in your mouth. It appears that I'm contradicting myself. In fact, I'm not. This is a show that I would only do for older kids, 9s and 10s, up to adults. This isn't the kind of thing that I would perform for little children, for 4s and 5s. The sucker aspect is really lost on them. They don't follow the magic in quite the same way. And again, as I said before, the mouth coil thing. It doesn't bother me, but it may bother someone in your audience. I have heard people who've worked in schools have had comments about not putting things in their mouths during the shows, so you may find in your area that that's the case. Otherwise, I hope you find a use for this. It's a great routine, and it's the sucker paper tear, or as I like to call it, the magic lesson. So I'm going to talk about my sponge ball routine. This routine is called A Sponge for All Seasons. I've published it in quite a few different places in the past, and close-up notes and on one of my previous videos. This is just a quick version of it that I use for kids. Now there are 4 sponge balls and 1 purse frame. And the great thing about this particular routine is it can work in pretty much any circumstances. I've done it on a cabaret floor with very big sponge balls. These are 2.5, so they're not huge, but they're certainly big enough to work for a kids show. It's a standard Goshman purse frame. 2 balls go into each pocket and the purse frame in the left pocket. Beginning of the routine, I'm apparently looking for the sponge balls, not quite sure where they are, I'm looking for something. Purse frame comes out of my pocket a fraction of a second before my other hand that's holding 2 balls. This is classic Goshman. So purse frame comes out first, creates interest. Second hand comes out holding 2 balls and just drops to my side. So I show the purse frame as a point of interest. Strange looking thing, you know what this is, it's a magic purse. And now the purse frame goes down into my hand, opened up, and I produce the first 2 balls. Here's 1, here's 2. So this is the first part of the routine. 2 balls appear. Purse frame goes away and I steal the 3rd ball out. Take this ball and add 1 of the others, pushing it up to my fingertips so that only 1 ball's visible. I see people trying to squeeze sponge balls into the tiniest pellet, thinking that people will immediately spot that there's more than 1. It's not necessary. Your fingers are perfectly big enough to hide a whole sponge ball in this way. So this ball is at fingertips. I ask the spectator to hold out their hand. 2 balls go in, close up and turn over. Again, this is classic Goshman. Now I do the one and only vanish of the entire routine, and this is a great thing about this particular routine. A lot of routines with sponge balls, the vanish is repeated over and over and over, and I don't like routines where the same stuff is repeated. If you do that, people will eventually cotton on to what's happening. If you apparently put a sponge ball in the hand and then it's found not to be there, after the 2nd or 3rd time they're going to start to figure out that it has to be somewhere else right at that point. So I take the sponge ball, apparently put it into my hand, show that it's disappeared, expecting that the spectators is going to disappear. They turn their hand over and open it. Now there's an interesting thing on the timing of this. If I take the sponge ball, apparently put it in my hand and it's gone, right at that point there's a what's going on here? It's not there. If there was a pause for 4 or 5 seconds now, anyone in any audience is going to start to suspect my other hand. You could count to 4 or 5. By the time you got to 5, just about everybody is going to figure that the ball's in the other hand. So at this point you need a throw off. And there's a great situation that occurs here, because once this ball has apparently vanished, Peter's hand's open, and then straight away there are 2 balls there. So now everybody relaxes because apparently the ball has come back. They don't know how it got there, but apparently it's come back. So this is a great, I like to control the emotions in this way, so that when bang, when the balls appear, then everything looks clean and fair. So now I'm going to take these 2 balls, adding the 3rd one, and give them to usually the second spectator, or if I was using one, I might use perhaps their other hand. Same thing again, I'm not putting the ball, squeezing it up like a pellet, I'm just leaving it behind my fingers and showing 2. So these are placed in the hand again, it's closed and turned over. Take out the purse frame to apparently tip another ball in. Now, see how open my hands are at this point? It's great because the dirty work's already been done. I can show the ball apparently going into the hand. When the hand's turned over and opened, bingo, there are 3 balls. Now, I used to go straight into the 4th ball at this point, but now I think it's nice to break the routine a little bit, so I do a 1 in the hand, 1 in the pocket. So this is the way that this works. 3 balls are in view. First ball goes apparently into my pocket. In fact, it goes in and I steal out an extra one, so 1 goes in, 2 come out. Pick up the second ball and place it apparently in my hand, so it's 1 in the pocket, 1 in the hand. The last one apparently goes into the pocket. In fact, it comes straight back out again. So now it seems as though I've only got 1 ball. I wait for it to register for a moment. Oh, maybe that was too fast, maybe everyone's confused. Let's start that bit again. And there are 3 balls. It's a great piece. Let's start that bit again. Always gets a laugh. It's very strong magic, and you're already 1 ball ahead now. So we're in exactly the same position with 3 balls, but we're now 1 ball up, we're 1 ahead with the last ball. So now I pick those 3 up, adding the 4th one. Try to get the balls to look as much as possible like a little cluster of 3. If it doesn't look perfect, then I don't make too much fuss about showing it, but if I get the ball neatly held so that I can show 3 balls here, then I'll make a bit more fuss about that. It doesn't really bother me, but if there's a chance to do that, I will. Those 3 go in. Usually I get them to hold them in 2 hands, because at this point they're going to spring out all over the place. Now I'll take one from behind someone's ear, or perhaps use the purse frame again, and now slowly as they open, bang, there are the balls. Sponge balls is a very versatile effect. It can be used in close-up, in stand-up, in parlour, in kids magic. It's something that can be done for just about any audience. It's not much to carry, so if you're working for older kids, perfect thing to put in the show. I want to spend just a few moments talking about the sponge ball vanish. The vanish I have is quite a clean one, and it works like this. So the sponge ball is pinched between the finger and thumb. I'm presenting it to the palm of the hand and the fingers are coming across. Now really all I'm doing is to pull the sponge ball out of my hand, except instead of pulling it out straight where you could see it, what I'm actually doing is to rotate my wrist. So when the ball goes into my hand and closes, the wrist rotates, pulling the ball out, so it's masked perfectly by this hand. The ball falls naturally into a finger palm, and this hand drops away. We do that again for you. It goes here, closed up, the wrist turns so that the ball is out, it falls into a finger palm and drops away. The thing you have to be aware of is you don't want to flick it out too far so that it peeps down below this hand. So let me try to do that at normal speed. This is how it looks. It's very clean. The ball goes in, it's really apparently in the hand, somehow it's gone. That's it. Simple, straightforward sponge ball vanish. So I want to talk about the cards across effect. There's a couple of reasons why I include this particular effect in the show. The main one is that people expect magicians to do card tricks. The trouble is, if you're doing card magic for kids, they tend not to recognize the cards. It's not quite as common as it may have been in earlier generations. Certainly my generation played cards a lot when we were kids. Nowadays it's not the case, but people do expect to see a card trick. So this is a card trick which really is not dependent on the cards. It's purely a trick about numbers. The version I use for Cards Across, and I've done many over the years, is really just Las Vegas Leaper by Paul Harris, or a modification of it. A simplification, I guess you could say. There's been a few different versions published over time that have had people remembering cards and those specific cards turning up and so on, but this is really just about the number of cards. For the sake of completeness, I'll go through it. If you want more details, then the Paul Harris Art of Astonishment books, you can find those in any magic shop, and they will give you the full explanation and all the extra stuff if cards are your thing. Very simple effect. First off, I'm going to apparently give 10 cards to a spectator. In fact, I'm only going to give them 7. The way that's done is by stealing a card back with a Biddle steal. I've always done the break on the first card. I just find it a little easier to do. I think the original version has the break somewhere in the middle. So one card is peeled off into the left hand. When you take the second card off, you keep a break with your finger underneath that card, and then 3 and 4, so there are now 3 cards above the break. As I come to take the next card from the top, I'm going to steal these 3 cards back underneath, just using my middle finger and thumb, a Biddle steal. So I come across, drag one card from the top, and I've stolen the others back underneath. As I count 5, there are in fact only 2 cards here. Let me do that again with a little bit more speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then apparently 5, and I've only got 2 cards here. That's the first part. So we carry on doing that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So apparently there are 10 cards here. I ask the kids to take these, either put them between their hands or in their pockets if they have one. That's the first pack of apparently 10 cards. Remember, there are 7 there. The second part, this is a very simple add-on of 3 cards to a pile of 10. So you're going to count 10, but you push them all off first and apparently take them into your hand. So push across 3, push across 3, push across 3, that gives you 9. An extra 1 makes 10, and then push across another block of 3 and get a break underneath them. So then you take those 10 cards, flip them face up on top of the 3 that you've got to break, and then lift the packet right off. So now your situation is you've got 10 face up cards and 3 extras. So that's the position you're in, 13 cards already, 10 face up and 3 extra. You can then count these yourself or have the spectator count them. Start them off by showing how to count. That's 1, that's 2, and you can hand them to the spectator and they count the rest. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's how to get down to a pile of 7 and a pile of 13 for the Cards Across. I like Silk Magic. It's bright and it's colourful, and you can use it for just about any situation. It doesn't take up a lot of space in your box or your bag, and it will play for a big audience. So Blendacious is an effect I've had several different versions of over the years. This is one of my favourite Blendos. This particular one was made by Sitar Silks from Italy. It's very bright and very colourful, and it has an extra feature which allows you to show the handkerchief as a bunch of handkerchiefs tied together, which I think is very clever. Now, I've used this idea in several other routines, and you don't actually need this particular handkerchief to enable you to do that, but I'm going to show you how that deception works. There are some small handkerchiefs which are just a 50-50, so they're dyed down the middle. Now, over the years I've managed to lose one of these, so I've only got 2 of them left, and I just use a plain red handkerchief, which is exactly what you can do to create the same effect as this. So where the colours join on the large Blendo is where you're going to tie these little silks to create the knots. Instead of just tying them straight around, I like to fold them around one extra time. This is a tip given to me by Wally Boyce. It's a great idea because what it does is it really does cover up that joint that you get. If you If you just wrap the handkerchiefs around once and tie them, you get a very obvious join. But if you wrap them around an extra time and then tie a knot, that join is covered. So the little handkerchief is wrapped around the big one and then tied just with a single knot. It's all it needs. You don't need to make it too tight. So you tie it with a single knot. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the joint of the blue and yellow with this half-half silk. So it's wrapped around where those colours join. And then the same thing in the very centre. Just tying a single one around. I think on some of these versions, on some of the versions of this, this was done just by holding the corners and folding them back and tying them, but it's a little bit more tricky to do it that way. So I tie this one around the centre, and that creates a knot or join right there. So now you have something which looks like 3 handkerchiefs tied together. It doesn't look perfectly like that, but it looks enough like that that if you don't show it too much, then you can get away with it. Then on top of that, I've got the 4 individual handkerchiefs, and I've also added 4 small ones, little tiny ones. If I'm doing this for younger children, I make more fuss about the small ones. In this occasion, I just showed them and then I apparently made them bigger inside the bag, and that was enough. So I talk a lot more on volume 1 about the change bag and about the silly wands. So if you look at volume 1, there are extra tips and extra little pieces of information that you can use, but for the sake of completeness, I'm going to show you the setup for this. So inside the bag, I have got the blended silks. On top of those are the 4 individual ones. Now, I was always tempted to put the small ones on top of those. The trouble with that is that it's hard to find them inside the bag. When you're reaching inside, fishing around, looking for 4 little tiny handkerchiefs, it's easy for them to get mixed up in the folds of the hankies. So the way that I'm able to do that is by turning the bag in the other way. So now it appears to be empty. And I'm going to load these silks in after I've shown the bag empty. The way I do that is by having them sitting on the handle inside my box. So when I go in to get the change bag out, I'm grabbing those handkerchiefs and bundling them up inside my hand. I bring the bag out and show it empty and explain that the handkerchiefs are going to appear inside the bag, and now I'm literally dropping them in right in front of their eyes. Very simple to be able to do that. Then we do our magic, and what happened there? Very small handkerchief appears, followed by another small one, third, and a fourth. These are obviously too small to be able to do anything with. So that's the first phase of the effect, 4 small handkerchiefs appearing inside the bag. So now we move on to the second phase of the routine. The handkerchiefs are apparently going to grow inside the bag. The 4 small ones are dropped in and the bag's flipped over, and then one at a time I remove the 4 handkerchiefs from the bag. Now I explain what's going to happen is that the handkerchiefs are going to grow or join together into one large handkerchief. So the 4 handkerchiefs are now put back inside the bag. I do this by flipping the bag again, putting them back in the first side on top of the small handkerchiefs, flipping the bag one more time to allow them to come out in this tied fashion. Now, in several versions of this in the past, I've actually carried out this part by using the crystal tube. So the 4 handkerchiefs from the bag have been placed inside the crystal tube. By blowing them out, the 4 handkerchiefs come out apparently tied together. If you know the method of that particular effect, you'll understand how that works. Taking those 4 from the crystal tube, putting them back inside the bag, and apparently trying to get them to turn into one large blended handkerchief. I'm then switching what are effectively 4 tied handkerchiefs for another 4 tied handkerchiefs. So at this point it appears as if nothing has actually happened. What happened there, they're still tied together. And that's when you can carry out the last phase, which is the transformation from 4 tied into one big one. Now the great thing about this is it can actually be done out in the open. You don't have to put them back inside the bag. Now the temptation with this effect is to grab the knots and pull them all one way, just like you would in a cut and restored rope effect, sliding the knots off the handkerchief. In practice, it doesn't work quite as efficiently as that. Once you get 3 knots sliding on the handkerchief, they tend to get a little bit tied up. So what I tend to do is to slide one off in one direction. So I begin to slide this one along this way, as I'm apparently folding the handkerchief up into a bundle. So I slide one knot off the first end. So now you grab the knot from the middle of the handkerchief and slide it towards you, picking up the 3rd knot and sliding it right off this end of the handkerchief as it's bundled up. I'm then going to ask the spectator to hold on to this bundle. They hold out their hands. I put the bundle together in their hands, now stealing all 3 knots into one hand. As they're holding on to this, I can then go back, drop these as I pick up a wand, which allows me to finish off the effect, and then grab the handkerchief and open it up to show the blended effect, and all of the knots have vanished. The handkerchiefs have all become one large blendo. It's a very simple and straightforward effect. You can do it with your own blendo just by tying those extra handkerchiefs around. And if you want some extra tips on the change bag and the wand, take a look at volume 1.